Hi, this is a quick overview of the application for iOS, Castles of Luxembourg, that I made. So here you see the screen of my iPhone, the real device, and the application is to the right, this one. So let's go inside. So at the bottom we have 4 tabs, and the first one is Map. And here you immediately see the map of the Luxembourg, a little bit zoomed in, but here is the entire map. And the purple bubbles are the clusters of the castles. So I can zoom in to see individual castles. They look like this, for example, Useldange Castle. It's green because I already visited it recently. And Körisch Castle is not visited yet. In fact, I visited it earlier, but for the purpose of this demo, it's not visited. So yeah, you can zoom out and you can toggle the view of the castles, not in clusters, but all at once, like this button here. And here you see all the castles that we have. It's 55 of them. You can zoom in. And what you can do, you can tap on the pin of the castle, here for example, and you will see the details of this castle. So I will briefly explain you what we have here in details. At the top we have the share button, which allows us to share the information about the castle. It's either a PDF generated or a share App Store link. Then we have the photos here, which you can browse, like by swiping. You can also enlarge the photo, pinch it, zoom it, and return to the normal size. Also, we have the titles in 4 languages. Then in the yellow box, it's a special note, important information for the tourists. Then we have some statistics about the castle, the build, year, the popularity, the stars, and so on. Popularity is how much visits it had, like, in a year reported by users, and the stars is the average estimation gave by users to this castle. So then we have this information open for tourists or closed for tourists, and approximate visit duration, which is based on my personal experience, because castle is not big and you cannot really see much inside of it. So then we have this button to show it on map or to add it to the future trip. About the trips I will explain a little bit later. Also we have the address, and tapping on drive button here also will get you to the map, but already to the system map, to the Apple Maps application, like for example here, like this, and you see the driving route already. Let's go back. Here we have description and the history. This information is primarily was taken from Wikipedia, but also from some government sites of Luxembourg. About the sources of information, I will also explain a little bit later. Then we have the contact information, which is available publicly. And this switch is to skip the proximity alerts for this castle. I will also explain this a little bit later. So then you can mark it as visited already, or book a photographer for your trip. For example, like this, you get transferred to the photographer Instagram account. Okay, let's close it and continue with the map. For example, I want to locate myself, and I have this button here to locate where I am. So I'm currently in Grund, in the Santoville. At the top we have the search field, which actually filters the castles on the map. For example, I want to find the Luxembourg castles. There are 2 of them. Wait. It's after correction. Yeah, you see 2 of them. One is old and one is publicly available. Then you can also filter castles here and sort them by type. Maybe you prefer only the castles or only the palaces or only the ruins. Or you can also filter them by venues that already visited and or already open for the public, because not all castles are open for the public. Okay, so yeah, here is everything we have here. About the build trip button, I will explain a little bit later. So let's go to the second tab, castles, here. And here we have the full list of all the castles that are worth visiting, because as you might know, in Luxembourg we have more than 130 castles, but some sources say it's more than 180, but most of them are ruins, maybe one remnants of the wall or of the window. They are not worth even looking at, but 55 of them are worth visiting. So I collected them all here, and here we have a list of them sorted by popularity. Here we have this sorting button. Yeah, you can also sort them by distance from you to see which is closer to you. The winner also, of course, is the Vianden castle. That's why it's first in the list. And here we have the segmented control, which separates castles that are open completely to public in the opening hours, of course. Those that have only the park or outside area accessible for public. Beaufort Castle is currently temporarily closed for the reconstruction. And here we have the private castles that are completely closed for public. You can look at them only from the distance. Okay, let's go to the open ones and go into Vianden. So here we have the same details of the castle that I already showed you. Just some more beautiful pictures. And the visit duration already is 3 hours here. Yeah, and all the same information about address, history, description, and so on. Let's go back. There is nothing else here, not much to explain. I already explained you about details, so let's go to the settings step. We will skip the trip step and I will explain it a bit later. Let's go to settings. So here at settings we have different settings that you can tailor for your needs. Like for example, you can display the map as hybrid or satellite. You can change the units, for example, if you're from US, to the miles, and appearance is a light theme or dark theme. But actually application is automatically adopting to the dark theme at the evening if you have it on in your system settings. Then you can filter, you can set what you see by default when you launch the app to not set the filter every time. You can set the sorting order by rating, name, distance from you, and you can exclude or include some types of castle that you don't need. And here is the most interesting feature for the users that will drive their engagement, because the proximity alert is the location-based push notifications that user receives when he or she is driving or walking in the proximity of some castles. So I will show you how it looks. So if I drive past some castles, I get the push notifications that look like this. So it tells me the castle is nearby, you're near Setfontaine, Rollingergrund, and tap to view the details. So if I tap on viewing the details, the application will open and with the details of the castle. So you can automatically see which castle is by, are you driving by, and you can add it to your future trip here. I will explain it in a moment, how it works. Yeah, so proximity feature. You can also set the distance of the alert from 1 kilometer to 20, but I don't recommend 20 because you will get a lot of notifications. I recommend 2 or 3 kilometers is enough. Yeah, and every time you will be passing by the castle, you will get a notification. But if you're living in the proximity of some castles, like me, I live in Centreville and I get a lot of notifications about Grand Ducal Palace, Casemates, and others. I just can go to inside that castle that I don't need notifications from, scroll to the bottom, and just turn off this switch, and I will not receive notifications for this castle because I already visited it many times and I live by it nearby, so I don't need notifications 10 times in a day. Okay, let's go back. What we have here in settings is we can download maps offline, and this application, by the way, works completely offline. All the information is on device. It's not using any network requests. It's very useful for travelers who are on roaming and don't need their phones to be charged a lot, like people from Japan or Saudi Arabia that don't want to get a big bill at the end of the month for the internet use. It can work completely offline. Then we have the high contrast mode for people with the bad sight, and also the languages of names. So we have 4 languages, but currently only the titles of the castles are translated, but not the entire information. This is something that I have on my roadmap to work on. You can reset all settings to the defaults. You can send the feedback to me, the developer. And then you can see the attribution and sources information, which is really important. So here I laid out the sources of information. So they include public tourism portals, Wikipedia, GeoNames organization, which is open source, local municipality websites, OpenStreetMap. So all the sources here are open source, publicly available, and not licensed. So we don't steal any information from anyone. Photos are also publicly available, not licensed, either from Google or from public websites, or taken by me and my wife. My wife is a photographer, by the way. But in any case, if someone has any doubts or questions, he can write me and I will sort out the situation. Okay, then let's go to the most useful feature of this application, is a trip builder. On the first map tab, screen, we have this build trip big button at the bottom. And what it does, it builds your trip. So let's go and see. Yeah, so here we have the title. You can set the title for your trip, and also the mini map where the red pin indicates castles that you want to visit. And then we have this list of castles. If you remember, when I was inside the details of the Setfontaine castle, I pressed the button add to trip, and that's why it's already here. But for example, I want to visit also Vianden in that day, yeah, which is quite far from here, La Rochette, and also the Vianden. Let's select it. Yeah, and you can see it's calculate your route every time you select new castle, and it includes the driving duration, forth and back, both sides, both ways, and also the castle visit duration that we have for every castle already set. And as you see, we have this red notification that select castles exceed the available time. So you can set your available time. For example, you have 4 hours only available, but these castles require almost 8 hours to see everything, because the driving, the parking, the eating out, stuff like that. If you're with children or disabled person, it's gonna be even longer. So for example, I decided, okay, I will devote entire day for this trip, and I will increase available hours here to 8. And you can see the alert disappears, and I can set the number of people. It also a little bit affects the time duration, because people need to eat, people need to go to toilet, and this is all considered in this result in time. Also, if you have children, it's even more time, because you have to accommodate children, you have to care about children, so it also adds some time. So as you can see, already over the budget of our time. And for example, if I have a wheelchair person, it also adds time. Okay, so it's almost 9 hours. Now I can see how much time I will maximum need. It's a maximum time I will need with all the preparations for this trip. But you can see that the bottom buttons are grayed out. They are not active because we have this alert, the red alert. So let's increase our available hours to 9. So it gives me the notion that I have to, we have to start earlier, or I should wake up earlier. So it's just for your planning, proper planning. Okay, so no alerts, and the button's activated here. And if I tap on this big green button, save trip and open route, let's see what happens. So it will transfer me to the standard Apple map, and it will build the entire route for me. So all I need just to start the trip. Also, I can change the order of the castles I want to visit, but for this case it's not necessary. So let's return to the app, and we just added a trip, and we can go to the trip tab and see this new trip. So here it is, this one. So this trip also here shows me how much kilometers I will drive, how much time it will take. I can go inside the details of this trip. I can see the red pins where everything is located. I can change the name like this. then I can favorite this castle, this trip, for example. I do it many times with my friends, for example, yeah, who are coming to visit me. And here we have all the information, and again the button to open the route. Yeah, so yeah, here it's favorited. The plus button again opens the same trip builder. And yeah, that was it. So basically this application is all about helping travelers to find castles, to plan their time, and to get as much as comfortable as it's possible to see the Luxembourg venues and sites. Yeah, I just want to mention that I'm really excited about the Luxembourg castles. I love them very much. I visited all of them, and yeah, there are some that are really worth visiting, some are not. But in any case, if you're living in Luxembourg for a long time, for example, and you saw the main, like Vianden, La Rochette, Beaufort, and so on, you can go visit smaller castles. Some of them are museums, others are hotels, like Schengen and Urspelt, and so on. Yeah, there are a lot of hidden gems that you can also see even if you're native. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching, and bye.